today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can survive in GRAV. First thing you'll see is the control guide. Push F8 to open. Once you've learnt the basic controls, go off, equip your knife and start killing anything that's level 1. You can even take on things at level 2, but flying bugs and slimes are probably the easiest. Oh, and bug dogs, they're pretty easy to kill as well. Go through and kill everything until you hit pretty much level 2. Strafing left and right and jumping is probably your best way to not get hit by most enemies. This enemy just dropped the blueprint. Collect these blueprints to get better gear. Some items require you to have a blueprint to craft them. You can check most of your blueprints by pushing I in your inventory, but some don't show up there. We just leveled up. You can check your level just above your hotbar. Now that we're level 2, I'm just going to go around and kill a few basic mobs again, just to get some extra food. Food is dropped by mods, and more or less you slowly regenerate health with food. Your character eats it every now and then whenever he feels like he needs it, and often food is not hard to get hold of, so just killing a few more enemies would help. We just picked up an invis stim. We can go ahead and we can push I, and we can go into our stims and we can find it. We can click the hotbar button and put it on our hotbar. Now I can activate our invisibility by just pushing 6. You can use any hotbar number you want, whichever one's better for you. Most enemies also drop health kits, just like that one. They help you stay in the fight longer and can help you regen. Now we just got another stim, we just got a health stim. If you push F8 and go to your key binding, you can see our health stim is already bound to H. So push H when in a fight to be able to get a quick buff of health. Now that we've hit level 2 or 3, we're going to go into a bit of a gathering stage. We're going to gather various materials like fossils, gems, and wood. You can gather resources by using your multi-tool. This right here is element X. It's an ore that can only be mined by a harvester. You can get a harvester by killing enemies and eventually finding a blueprint to be able to craft a harvester. All materials can be found in dungeons and in the world. Once you fully mine or gather or harvest a certain object, often a little bit will drop out. Usually it can be rough fossil chunks or slime glands, various reactive ores. These little small things can be used to craft bigger items later on in the game. You will find random travelers, gamblers, vendors, and you can buy things from them with element X. You only really use these guys like later on in the game. You can push I at any time to look at the tools, devices, blueprints, vehicles, traps, stims, items that you own. You can also see at the top right hand corner, it shows a quick little rundown of all the basic materials you have. It's definitely worth using this to quickly figure out how much food you have. Right here we've come across a dungeon. Dungeons are found randomly in the world and sometimes they can be quite tough to find. As you can see, it actually says that this dungeon is level 2 to 4. Most dungeons, even though they might be near your level, can still be way harder than what you'd expect. I almost forgot, you can actually use your multi-tool to stun the enemy, but it's only useful if you have a friend to use it on the enemy. Working as a team, one stun and one attack would work rather efficiently, but by yourself, it doesn't really work. If you're struggling to find enemies on your level, at the top of the screen it will actually say what level enemies should be in that area. It's worth keeping an eye on there. Health stims and invisible stims are not the only stims you can find. There are also running stims that can be activated by using your shift key. That was one just then. Now you're level 3 and night is falling fast. Push B to open up your build menu. This is where you can build your armory, factory and science stations, which are your main operations. You can use WASD to move, and if you hold your left click, you can actually move where you want to place it. Once you built it, we use the resources and you can now build weapons and your very first basic armor. These require wooden planks, and you have to get a factory to be able to craft wood into wooden planks. So we're going to build one of these as well, by using gems, ore and fossils, just the basic materials that you find. You basically use the factory as a refinery. You refine the wood and the fossils and the fossil blocks and wood planks, quite simplistic. Now, you're probably going to want to go ahead and farm a lot more trees and items to be able to get full wood gear. But there's my first set of wood armor. So I'm going to go out and repeat the step until I have a good set of wood gear. Science stations are really worth getting as well. They can help you actually craft things like stims and various other things like locators to find out where you are. After gathering lots more wood, I've got full wood armor and even the wood batten. You should be well enough equipped now to go off and kill more higher level enemies. However, just remember, you're still not invincible. Enemies like the hunters are really tough to deal with, even if they're on your level or even below your level. And don't forget, of course, to progress through gear, you want to kill enemies around your level to be able to get blueprints, and then you can proceed.